Hello, here we go. It's the Kopite podcast.
We get in there. There we go, boys. Liverpool 3, Leicester City 0. We are live. We've got a pint. I've got a pint. Matt's probably still on his fucking baby Yoda cup, but we're all good. Congratulations, boys. Nice little performance. There we go. See, fantastic performance there from the Redmen. I think a lot of people were shitting themselves before the game. They have been all week because this Leicester side are very good. There's been the worry about our defence, our midfield, our attack. It's been a bit of fucking weird week in terms of international football. But Mick, we've won 3-0. We're joint top of the league. How are you feeling right now, pal?
Boss, and it's just absolutely dominant. And when you factor into it, no Hendo, no Trent, no Gomez, no Van Dijk, no Salah, no Thiago, and we can still manage to go and put a performance in like that. That we looked as good as we have all season in a performance that, like, just Diego Jota just can have me babies if he wants. I don't know how it's possible, but however way it can be possible, I want it to happen because I fucking love the fella.
Matt, I think pre-match, obviously the team lineup came out and we were chatting, weren't we, in the WhatsApp group, just sort of like, quietly confident, really, given the way the team lineup had thought. And we'd said in the preview show on Friday that we thought that that's the way it would be. Obviously, everyone was hankering for Thiago not to be in there. There were quite a few worried people. A lot of our subscribers are quite worried in terms of the fact there was no Thiago and stuff like that. But I thought we started quite well, didn't we? And I think after the first sort of 15 minutes, we settled into the game. I thought, yeah, this Liverpool side is more than capable of beating this Leicester City team. Don't get me wrong. The squad that we put out was more than capable of beating Leicester, but because everybody had been building it up over the international break, those sort of concerns were sort of eased off quite quickly, weren't they, mate?
Yeah, I mean, they played very, very well. You can't really say anything more than that. The midfield, which it did concern me just because of a lack of physicality in the midfield, but they did very well. I'm very, very, like, despite the win, I'm very bummed because of what happened to Keita, because he was unreal, and I'm sure we'll touch on Keita's injury in a minute. But Keita played very well. I was concerned about Jones as well at the start. Jones played very well. I think this is a performance that I guess I've been waiting for from Curtis Jones the last times that we've seen him, and he did boss it very, very much so. And then up front, it was just the usual for the front three, but I thought James Miller was fantastic as well at right back. Matip and Fabinho marshalled Vardy extremely well, and Robertson.
Yeah, it's a good point that you've just touched on there, Matt. Mick, I wanted to just chat about the Jamie Vardy situation because you spoke to Neil, didn't you? He's a Leicester City fan for the opposition overview, and you said that Vardy's going to be the biggest threat, and it got to like 85 minutes of thinking, hang on, where the fuck is Vardy? Has he played tonight? We did well at keeping him quiet, didn't we?
Yeah, I think that's what we all said. We all agreed on. Like, if it was Fabinho and Matip as a pair at the back, the confidence can absorb into the rest of the team, because those two can become as solid as anything in the league. Like Fabinho, he's proved how good he can be there, and it would have been maybe a bit of a risk putting maybe like a Reece Williams or a Phillips there, and then having Fabinho in midfield. I think having him at the back with Matip, and then putting Curtis Jones in, for me, he was one of the best on the pitch. Just little touches on the ball. He's so agile, and his passing was a bit more crisp tonight than it has been in recent games where he's had a chance. So I'm happy for him that he's put in a performance like that, because he's a 19-year-old kid that at the end of the day, and to be putting in performances like that, I mean, he didn't set the world on fire, but like, he was just solid, kept us ticking over, and that's all you want to be on the side of a three in a Klopp system. He played it perfectly. So in terms of Vardy, we kept, like you said, I forgot he was playing, because if that's any testament to how well we played, it was that we kept the form player in the league who's bagged 8 goals so far, kept him as quiet as anything, and that was just how the game went from start to finish, really, up until, like you said, near the end where he had a chance. But we were just top class all over the pitch tonight.
Yeah, Matt, we can't underestimate that result, can we? Considering just how good we were tonight. Is, like I said, mate, at the beginning of the show, then there's been a lot of people that have been shitting themselves the last couple of weeks because of the injuries and stuff like that. But that team there really showed just what this squad is capable of.
Yeah, and it's now becoming a bit of a bare bones squad given the new injury, but it's a good squad. We played very well. Like, this is having seen what Leicester did to City, particularly City instead of Arsenal, but whether they just held out and then hit them, it was a scary prospect. Even with Vardy not really doing much, he's the kind of player that doesn't need to do much, and then all of a sudden he's scoring a goal. So yeah, and yes, I was wrong about Curtis Jones. But yeah, it was very impressive, and more than just the goals was the clean sheet that we haven't really managed to keep this season, and to do it against someone as dangerous as Jamie Vardy was just perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Mick, obviously, I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, Leicester did have a couple of early opportunities, which obviously we kept them at bay. But I thought one of the presences that was really good, and especially in that first half, was Alisson. Just because of the way he commands that box, and the fact that I think that he needs to step up a little bit, considering we've lost that sort of ability of Van Dijk. And I think it's just that calming presence of Ali at the back, isn't it? That's going to help Matip and Fabinho as well, because, I mean, considering Fabinho, it's his first game back after hamstring, he's not playing his normal position, he's playing at centre-back. I just think that triangle can work really, really well going forward.
Yeah, like Alisson for me is the best in the world by a long way, but like Matt said, getting that clean sheet is absolutely crucial, because I think that's the first time in the league since against Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken, the first time we kept a clean sheet, I think.
In the league,
so that was like a couple of months ago, so it's been a long time coming. And I think when we do our predictions, we always say, I'm not feel confident on Liverpool keeping a clean sheet, but yeah, with that little triangle, it can work perfectly, because Alisson, his position's always top notch. Like, especially against the opposition striker, if they're very quick, he knows where to be at the right time, and he's one of the best sweeper keepers in the world for me. So that little little trio can work perfectly. It's just keeping them fit. Like Fabinho and Matip between them can quite injury prone, and Alisson can pick up injuries here and there. So it's just keeping them all fit. But if we do, we'll be absolutely fine. No,
it's true. And Matt, I think, you know, when we look at it now, the first goal just after 20 minutes, a Johnny Evans old goal. You know, if an ex-Man United player is going to score the first goal in the game for us, I'll take that all day. You know what I mean? Especially as it's an own goal. But mate, you know, nice little goal from a set piece. I don't think he's with Johnny Evans. He's with him being a defender, he's sort of watching the man and not really watching the ball. So obviously he's trying to stop Mane, and then it's hit him on the back and it's gone in. But at the end of the day, mate, the way the goals are coming for Liverpool, it made you take him anyway, and that was the perfect way, wasn't it? It sort of settled us down a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you can tell that Johnny Evans was just focused on Mane, and that was about it. Didn't look at the ball, didn't care about the ball, was just too bothered with what's Mane doing. And testament to Mane, because obviously he's dangerous. That's why. And then it hits him on the back of the head, goes in, and you know from that moment that's Leicester's game plan out the window. If you look at their performances against City, against Arsenal, it was clean sheet, and hit him on the break in the last few minutes, and they couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So that we needed, definitely needed the first goal. Definitely good that it came early on, and that just gave us the platform to go and push forward.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And I think going in at 1-0, Mick, you'd have taken that before the game, given the way the preparation for the game went, and how the international break, how fucking long it was. I swear to God, this international break felt like it was a month rather than a couple of weeks. But I think the fact that we went in 2-0 was massive for us. But I just want to talk about that Diogo Jota goal, because honestly, there was bodily fluids coming out of me watching that goal. It was just incredible. It was absolutely incredible. The ball in from Robertson was just a typical Robertson ball, and I think everyone knew as soon as it left his foot, you're like, that's going on someone's head. That, and what a fucking finish.
Yeah, and I think it's even before that for me, like the clip, the crossfield pass by Curtis Jones, the control, the taking it inside, and then the instant cross, and like you said, it's just begging for someone to run near post and get a head on it, and it was typical that it was Jota that got it. Like, I think he's the first player in Liverpool history to get scoring in his first 4 games at Anfield in the league, which is just like to do that is just like, what a signing. Like, I thought when we got him, it was kind of one he was going to take a while to bed in, and we were going to see him in fits and starts. But the fact that we've seen him so frequently, and he's forcing his way into the first team plans pretty much as a starter every game, is testament to how he's just came in and just adapted to our method so easily. And yeah, made up for him. But what a ball and what a goal! It was just, and it was great just before, like 4 minutes before half time. That just eased everything because we knew in the second half we had a bit of a cushion. So even if he did manage to grab one, we could then maybe shut up shop or even grab another one on the counter attack. So it eased the game for me, and it made it a lot more. Made the second half a lot easier to watch anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mick's just mentioned there, obviously mentioned the second half being a lot easier. I think when you look at it and you've got a clean sheet with the back line that we had, with a 34-year-old James Milner, a Robbo that was on international duty, had a bit of an injury scare, and a centre-back pair that hasn't really played well, to go into that game 2-0 with that back line and the way it's just, again, it should make everybody just have that little sigh of relief that we can do this without Big Verge, can't we?
Yeah, 100%. The clean sheet for me is more important than the points at the moment. It's just getting that bit of confidence back into the guys. And again, performance by the back four in general, but the main man for me is Alisson. I think Mick said it before. It's just he's marshalling them. He's telling them what to do. They know that he's back there. It's great. And again, Matip, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If he can stay fit, he's definitely one of the best centre backs in the Prem, in my opinion. Not the best, but he's one of the best. It's just keeping him fit. So fingers crossed it may continue, because Fabinho's intelligence is brilliant as well. So hopefully this carries on.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And Mick, obviously going into the second half, it was, a little bit disappointing to see Kate to go off on 53. I think we were all just thought, for fuck's sake, here we go again. Another injury. Jesus Christ, pissed off again. It's a little bit different this time because Kate has not really been playing much for Liverpool, and obviously he played for his country, and then he's gone off. And obviously it's still early to tell what type of injury it is, but again, it's another right. That's the only blemish on tonight, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's hard to say I was waiting for something to happen, but I can't. I always do now. Who's gonna go down next, and especially when you see Jota go down in the box, I was like, oh fucking hell, what's gonna happen here? But yeah, Keita was good. The first hour he was boss. He was chasing everything down. We got a few throw-ins basically from nothing, from him chasing down Kasper Schmeichel and him kicking him out to play, and that's the type of energy he gives you. But it's just another player that it's getting him on the pitch. That's the problem for us. And when he's on there and he's firing, he's boss, and he proved that tonight. But with all these games coming thick and fast, how long is he going to be out for now? Couple of weeks. That's the thing. So
I don't know yet.
It's a small blemish, I think, because obviously he was boss, but we still won, and we still got players that can come into the team. But it is disappointing to see that, because you're just willing for him to have a bit of luck. You're going, right, he's playing boss here. Let's just please keep him fit and keep him in the team. And he just gets no luck, and it is. I feel bad for him, to be honest. It is. It's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Matt, you wanted an indicator in that midfield, didn't you? You wanted him in there for a long time, and then he's gone in, and then obviously this has happened now. But I think if any, the people that are watching, just alleviate people's fears that if Keita isn't playing, there's someone that can come in and slot in, isn't there? We're quite blessed in midfield.
Yeah, I've been very bummed for Keita. Big fan of Keita. Every time he plays, he just sort of bosses it. And today was no different. But as he gets injured, Thiago's coming back. We got news that the Ox is also coming back as well. So we're not as bare bones as we could potentially have been. It's still very disheartening that, again, he's picked up another injury. But fingers crossed for the lad, and hopefully Thiago's fine.
Yeah, we'll save that for another show. We're keeping it positive at the minute. I think we've got to talk about Bobby Firmino. Liverpool had 24 shots at goal. I think Bobby had 23 of them. I mean, there was one of them. It was just, again, Mick, he's just had one of those days where nothing was falling for him, was it? There was nothing falling for him. He's hitting the post. He hit the right-hand side of the post, he hit the left-hand side of the post. Don't get me wrong, he didn't have a bad game. It wasn't his day. And I said to Vinny, who was watching the match with, I just said to him, he's going to score the fucking hardest attempt, and he did, which was the fucking set piece, and what a header. But absolutely buzzing for Firmino, mate. Absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, well, I was just saying to Matt before we started, I thought in his all-round play, he was much better than he has been recently. I thought, like those little intricate, like when he gets played into feet, recently he's been like giving it away maybe, and they've been countering. But in this game, he was sharp touches and knocking it around the corner and getting into the box and getting into space and making himself available. And I think that's what we said. It's the confidence thing, and I'm hoping that goal can give him that, because you can see the relief on his face when that went in. I mean, what was it, 10 millimeters from scoring, and then a couple of minutes before, and then like you said, it looked like it wasn't going to happen, and then the fact that he goes and heads that in, which he is good in the air, so I'm made up for him as well to get that, because we want that to be the catalyst for him to go on getting at least a few goals for this season, and just to provide him a bit of confidence, really, because he is key to the system. Let's not forget that. So having him fit and firing and feeling confident, it is huge for us. So I think that'll go a long way to helping us.
Yeah, it's a good point, Matt, there, that Mick's just mentioned, isn't it? The fact that it's going to raise his confidence levels, because at the end of the day, he knows how good he is at footy. We all know how good he is at footy at the end of the day. But I think let's not pretend that footballers are innocent in terms of, they don't look at social media, because they do. It's obvious that they do, and it will get to them the way social media gets to anybody. Anybody gets a negative comment in life, it does get to them. And I think that Bobby will be looking at what he's doing, and I think, like Gabs just said, fair play to him. He kept going and he got what he deserved at the end of the day, because you can still see that he's got that determination. His head isn't going down, isn't it, at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just social media; it's just the media in general. Like Klopp's been getting quizzed all week about Bobby's form, and you can see just by Klopp's celebration when Bobby finally scored that he's just happy for the guy, because hopefully this is where the questions stop about, does Bobby need a rest? Does Bobby deserve to play? Yes, Bobby needs to play, because he's integral to that system. Now, if he can go and score at the same time, great. And I said the same thing when he was missing all these chances. He's going to get the hardest one, and what a goal as well.
Yeah, it was a fantastic goal. And Mick, we were all basically on that pitch with him, weren't we? Do you know what I mean? Like the way his teammates surrounded him, because they knew how happy they were. The fact that he finally got his goal that he just needed, because Sky Sports threw up a stat like it was just a shocking stat of how many goals he's had since January last year, and it was really bad. But like you've just said, and like Matt's just confirmed as well, he brings so much more to this side. But what I loved again was the team spirit of, yes, Bobby, you've got your goal now, mate. Get the monkey off your back and let's just crack on now against Atalanta next week. He's just got to keep playing, and his confidence will go sky high again. Yeah,
I echo exactly what you just said. Like, he just needs that run of fixtures where stuff's going for him, and like his little passes are coming off, because in recent games that even those haven't been working. So he needs just he's got confidence in his ability. Maybe he hasn't as much recently, but we all have, and that's the thing. Like Klopp retains him in the team more often than not. So he's got the confidence in him. So why shouldn't we? And I think that's the big thing. Like, we all know he's class, and when we've got Mane and Salah on both wings, and he's through the middle, we are 9 times out of 10 on top form. So we can't really, like, I understand that the recent criticism's been a bit warranted because he hasn't been on top form, but with these type of performances that he put in tonight, for me, he was one of our best players that you can go on and have a few boss games for us up until January, and we might see some fresh blood coming in.
Yeah, really pleased for Bobby, and buzzing. But I just want to move on to James Milner, if I may. Matt, there was a couple of people that had obviously put the preferred 11 on our Twitter feed, and James Milner wasn't in the right back position, because a lot of people said he's the weak link if he plays at right back. I'm not being funny though. If you are calling James Milner a weak link at right back, then you've clearly not been watching the same player for the best part of 15, 16 years, because he's just absolutely incredible. I don't think he's a weak link in any position that he plays. But having said that, what a game James Milner had.
Let me just say on record, and you can watch the previous podcast, I had him as my starting right back. Let's just get that sorted first. He was incredible. And because he's not got that pace that maybe Trent has or Robbo has, but he's smart, and he rarely got into a sprint race that he knew he wasn't going to win. He just was back and then clattered them. And then going forward, he was great. Yeah, he doesn't have the delivery that Trent has, but he offers you that fight and that grit. And instead of putting in an amazing 70-yard ball or whatever, he'll just slip someone through. I think he almost set Curtis Jones away in the first half.
Yeah.
He's not a weak link. He should never be described as a weak link. That guy could play anywhere apart from in goal, and I think he'd smash it.
Probably could play in goal, mate. You never know. He's probably fucking just as good there, isn't he? Mick, when obviously Keita had come off and there was a bit of a shuffle, and Nico Williams came on eventually as well. I just want to shout out for Nico Williams, because for him to come back into the side, a little bit easier, because obviously we were a few goals up by the time he'd come up, but it was still quietly poised, because if Leicester had got a goal, then the last 20 minutes could have been very, very difficult for him. But I thought Nico Williams was good when he came on.
Yeah, he was, and it's just getting these players into the team. Obviously, he didn't start, but I thought that was expected, because, like we said, like Millie having that experienced head on that side of the pitch. I think he whipping the cross for the first goal as well. So that's two assists in my book anyway for Millie. So yeah, Recho came in, like, what was it, 23 minutes he got, something like that. And like you said, a lot can happen in that amount of time. And the fact that he kept it nice and simple. Curtis Jones was on that side with him, so he had a familiar face, and he was just keeping it simple and that nice and easy. And he's got the pace and he's got the energy to get forward. We know that, and we've seen that. It's just giving him the game time, maybe in a game like this where we've got a couple of goals up and we've got a cushion. So like if we concede, it's not the end of the world. If, say for example, he gives one away or does something rash on the edge of the box or something like that and gives away a penalty or whatever, and they score from a free kick or something. But giving him game time in these type of games where he can come in and just get his foot on the ball and just feel his way into the team, because I think he came in, did quite well, and then he had that little spell, didn't he, where he was getting a lot of grief on like social media and that. So that wasn't good to see, because he's still a kid, and we imagine we would have done that to Trent back in the day, like when he was coming through a couple of years ago. It doesn't wash well with me. That's the only thing, but. Yeah, he done well when he came on, like, and that's all we want from him. Like, he's an option in that area, and that's the more options we've got, the better. And he's definitely a good one, especially maybe in not starting games like this, but starting games maybe against the bottom 10, where he's got that protection from maybe a Hendo on the right hand side over 3. So he's
good point.
He can get marshalled in that way by the captain. So yeah, for me, he was really good when he came on.
Yeah, I think, Matt, there was a couple of incidents with Nico where he sort of like, he could have cleared it a bit earlier, then it put us into a little bit of trouble and stuff like that. But what I loved about it is about 5 or 10 minutes later, he's in the exact same situation again, and his decision this time, instead of playing it short, he just played it long. And I just thought that is the game experience that he's learning, and it shows that the player is learning about what mistakes he's made in the past. To the game, the mistakes he's just made as well. I just think from that, getting that level of maturity and just switching on like that and go, right, 10 minutes ago and the fucked us over. Now I'm just going to plant it long and I don't give a shit, because the game's poised quite nicely.
Yeah, well, he's going to make mistakes, isn't he? Apart from there's 2 factors. Firstly, he's a kid, so yeah, he's going to make mistakes anyway. And secondly, you see seasoned professionals coming off the bench and they're not up to pace with the game and they make mistakes. So yeah. Firstly, he's going to get his nerves under control for the fact that he's a kid playing for Liverpool. And secondly, he's going to get to grips with the game, which I think he did quite well. Yeah, he made a couple of mistakes, holding onto the ball for too long, maybe doing a couple of little turns, one too many. But he grew and he got accustomed to it, and he was fine. I'm not sure if I'd start him in the next game, but he's certainly given Klopp a headache.
Yeah, and Mick, I think that's important, isn't it? Is Klopp needs those headaches now in a good way, not a case of going off for fuck's sake, another injury. What do I do now? And like Matt said, we're getting into a midfielder now like Naby Keita, and we don't know how long he's going to be out for. And we do need those headaches where if we are bringing in these young lads, we are giving Klopp those headaches, because obviously a lot of people had seen that Phillips was on the bench again. I don't think anybody would have been too bothered if Phillips had come on to replace anybody, one of the centre halves, would he? So again, it's those types of headaches that we need to be more positive. And again, we're getting towards the end of November, and we keep saying this every week on the Kopite podcast. We get to January, and let's just see where we are. And touch wood, we're doing really, really well at the minute.
Yeah, like I said, like we're missing like all the lads and we're missing. I said at the top of the podcast, like missing key huge players like the two main fellas at centre half, our starting right back, our top goal scorer Mo Salah, our captain Hendo, and the big signing we made in the summer, Thiago. Like, they're huge, and they take that many big players out of any other team in world football. Did he still play as fluidly and as similar to the first 11 as that team did tonight? I don't think so. Like, that's the biggest compliment you can play. Like, any player in there that Klopp picks, he knows that they're going to perform at least 90% to the quality as the first team player would, and that's the huge thing. And especially with the games coming thick and fast, like Atlanta at home on Wednesday, and then we've got Brighton away next Saturday, and then Ajax, and then Wolves, and then Midtjylland. They're going to all roll into one. So we need, like, getting Thiago back will be huge. And I think we were all hoping he was going to play tonight, weren't we? I thought we were saying if he's fit to play tonight, then we hope he starts, and he didn't. He weren't even in the squad, was he? So even that, we've got him to come back, like one of the best midfielders in the world. Like, and the you've seen it's I'm like into that team that played so well, and we've still got him to come back in. That's like a scary thought. Like, Minamino and Origi coming off the bench as well. That's all good signs as well, because they're getting minutes in the like. So it's all positive.
It is very positive, and I think I don't want to be too mean to Leicester because they've done well so far this season. But Matt, do you not think 3-0 flattered Leicester a little bit? Because the fact that we're missing so many of our top players, and Leicester are second in the league, we're missing all them players, and they played like the way they did today. You're not. Again, we said this on the preview show, didn't we? Leicester shouldn't. They need to remember what happened last season. They were second at Christmas, and they fell out of the top four. They keep playing like that, they're going to fall out of the top four again, and it's just absolutely ridiculous the way they play. So I think 3-0 flattered them. I don't know about you, Matt, but I thought it did. Thought it could have been more for Liverpool.
It definitely could have been more for Liverpool. I don't know if it flattered us. It flattered them as such, but I definitely think that if they could replay that game, Rodgers would definitely opt to attack Liverpool a bit more than try that pragmatic approach thing, because it didn't work. It didn't work at all. As soon as we took the lead, that there was their game plan out the window, and a lot's been made since our injuries, is that if you want a chance to beat Liverpool at Anfield, this is the best chance. And instead of going for it and just hounding down Liverpool's midfield and suffocating our defence and putting proper pressure on Milner at right back and at Curtis Jones in midfield as a young kid, instead of pressurising them, they just gave us space, gave us time, let us grow into the game. And if you'd think that if they would have done the reverse, if they would have come at us, it would have been a very different game.
Yeah, it would. And Mick, I think, keeping on the whole flattering thing, with it being 3-0, we had Christian Fuchs clearing one off the line when Jota's about to score. Bobby Firmino, it's millimetres, isn't it? It's about the length of one of my hairs away from, and that's obviously not many, away from getting the goal. He's hitting the post twice. I just think with Leicester, they should have played a lot better, but against that Liverpool side where people had sinned before the game, think, oh, there's no Thiago, and they've not done this and they've not done that. But at the end of the day, mate, we still came away with a 3-0 win, and it could have been 5.
Yeah, like we were saying before, like on the last pod, like is Brendan Rodgers gonna like change system or like change tactic and try and do something a bit different? But he kind of tried to do something that was kind of nothing. Like, he was trying. I don't know what he was trying to do. I don't know if he was trying to sit back and counter, but with that back four and then Alisson in goal, you've got to be 10 out of 10 to get any change out of them. And I think like the midfield, that's where I was worrying. And I seen Curtis Jones starting, and I thought, well, he's played the last game he played before this one. He was good, but before that, he was a bit hit and miss. So I was a bit worried about him, and the fact that he went in and played that well, and Wijnaldum and Keita were both boss and were everywhere making tackles all over the pitch. Then like the likes of Maddison and Barnes and Tielemans, they just couldn't get the foot on the ball, and I think that's down to how good we were and how good we pressed them, as opposed to them not being as good. I think we just made them look that bad, and we can do that to anyone in the league on any given day. And the fact that we did it with like 6 players missing or whatever it was is absolutely crazy, and it's a scary thought how good we can be when we start getting, obviously when Mo Salah's back and Thiago's back. Like, it's just we could start putting a huge run of results together and a huge winning streak if we carry on like that.
True. No, mate, it's a really, really good point, and it's the positivity that everybody needs to hear. Because Matt, Dan's just put, welcome Dan to the show. We appreciate it, mate. Dan's just put, the league won't know what's hit them once 90% of our team are back in a couple of weeks, and it's what we've it's what we've been saying for weeks, isn't it, Matt? You know, we keep riding this wave of injury after injury, taking it game by game. Mick just said putting a winning streak on together, which, you know, we're in the midst of at the minute, which is fantastic. And Mick said about a long run of results. If we can get through this November, get through December, and get to January, we are going to need reinforcements. I think everybody knows it's pretty much nailed on, because we need that support, especially at centre half. Things look really, really good right now, don't they?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And like Dan said, once everyone's back in, then you're going to see this team properly start to take over, because we haven't seen Liverpool at our best yet. The closest we've come was Atlanta, and there were still players missing. This was a very good performance, but again, a very weakened Liverpool team. If we can get a high performance from our full squad, which we're not going to see the full squad this year, unfortunately, because of Virgil and Joe, but from the midfield up, if we can get that full firing, scary.
It's very, very scary, mate. I think that's it. It's something to be really excited about, isn't it? Because a lot of the times over the last couple of years, everyone's saying, well, wait till we click. And maybe we're not a team that just clicks and does like 5, 6, 7-0 all the time, stuff like that. Just doesn't happen. We've moved on from being that side now, because I think 17, 18, we were winning quite a few games like that. But obviously the league's changed, the game's changed now. We play a different way. But grinding out results like this is really, really good, because sometimes you feel like this could have been a grinding result, Mick, couldn't it? You know, I went for a 2-1. You know, Matt went for a goal fest. None of us predicted a clean sheet. But again, Liverpool have surprised us again. And like Matt said, keeping that clean sheet was so fucking important, and making sure we got one as soon as possible before we hit double figures into the season.
Yeah, it's absolutely like it's just another notch to try and get us the confidence going. Like Bobby scoring, it's another thing from like Neco Williams coming on, a bit more confidence, like getting a clean sheet, confidence for the whole back five, confidence for the whole team. That's the thing. Like,
yeah,
we don't want Salah and Mane, Jota, Firmino scoring goals, and then we go down the other end, and the kind of thinking, oh, we might concede at some point here. We have to go up the other end and get another one. Like, without Virgin Gomez, it's absolutely huge. But the fact that we've got these players that come in, like Fabinho, Mata, who could be one of the best partnerships, like second team partnerships that you'll ever see, because they were absolutely terrific tonight. And against the Leicester team, like, it was the same as last year when we went to their place and beat them 4-0. There was a lot of question marks floating around going, is this the true test of how good Liverpool are? And we went and blew them away. And I think it's the same tonight. Like, we under Klopp, we rise to these type of occasions, and it's the mentality monsters thing again, where it's like you're expecting Liverpool to maybe struggle or just to trickle over the line, and then we go and blow them away 3-0, and they were top of the league, and that puts us joint top with Spurs. It's just always, like Jurgen Klopp always surprises you. I think we at one point we're going to be like, right, we'll be sound now because we're used to it, but you never get used to it, because he's just that good at managing this team, and the energy he squeezes out of every last one of them, to all those hard yards that Wijnaldum and Keita and all the other lads covered tonight was just terrific, and we made them look shit. That's how good we were. We made them look average, and that's the difference. That's how good Liverpool are.
Yeah, with a supposed second team. I don't think you see me there. You still see me. We still see me. Dan said, I think we had 8 first-team players out tonight. Oh, don't do that, Mike. I like being at the bottom. Mike, I like it when you're on top. You know this.
Ah, shit.
I like it when you're on top. Remember that. Matt, don't get jealous. And Keita went off with an injury as well. It's incredible how well we're doing, and it shows the leadership throughout the team. What I really like about that comment, Matt, is he's mentioned obviously the leadership throughout the team there, and I think with the likes of when Henderson's out and Van Dijk's out, obviously Milner will obviously take that mantle of being the leader on the pitch. But I think there's a lot of leaders like that popping up, because you need to have a leader in midfield, you need to have a leader in defence, you need to have a leader up front. You know, Alisson's a leader anyway, regardless. He's a keeper. But I think, again, that's such an important aspect to this Liverpool side at the minute for us to move forward, because they think, right, well, Van Dijk's out. We all need to fucking come together and work extra hard now, because Van Dijk does a fucking fantastic job without even breaking a sweat or one of his luscious locks falling out of place. He just manages to do it. And I think it's really important that this team now, and like Dan's just said, there's leadership throughout the team, and it's so important that, and results like that tonight prove it, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I watched the game without that crowd noise crap, just because I like to hear the players talking to each other. I like to know that, like to hear who's shouting at who's telling who to do what. And all I could hear all game was just the players telling each other to get in position, to keep going. Just when someone did something good, it was just letting them know, yeah, you smashed it. Okay, now on to this and this, and then just all talking to each other. And that's something that can't be underestimated, the communication between the players. The fact that they're being urged on by each other, it's vital. Yeah,
it absolutely is. Mick, I'm just obviously, before we finish, just want to come to you first, mate, and just pick your man of the match.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Do you want to go first, Matt? Let me have a think. I don't know.
Fucking pass the buck.
I'll go Milner. Just because a lot of people were giving him stick before the match, just because he's the weak link. He smashed it. He got 2 assists as well. They couldn't handle him.
Okay. Mick?
Fucking hell, I don't know. You know what? I thought, for me, Milner was boss, but it's between Robbo and Jota for me. I thought Robbo was just, he was like, the fact that he was maybe a doubt for this game, it just proved to be a lie, because he was just his energetic self. Like that ball, like we said, for Jota, inch perfect, and he didn't give them any change all night. He was the catalyst for us pushing us forward, like he always is. Like without Trent in the team, like Millie was always going to be a bit more reserved on that right hand side, but Robbo was just rampaging as always. Like the link up play with Mane and Curtis Jones and Keita on that side was boss to watch. And yeah, for me, he was typical leadership quality as usual. I thought he was probably our man of the match, but there was so many. Like the whole team was boss. Like you could have picked any one of them. So I think Robbo just shades it for me. Just
okay. I'm going with Jota. I'm going to agree with Ian Thompson that it was Jota. But again, what does that say? When all three of us are picking 3 different players, I think that is fucking brilliant. Boys, it's been a pleasure. I'm going to go get myself another beer. Matt, you take another sip out of your water. Mick, you go get yourself another beer. Matt's in training. Don't forget, Matt's an athlete. Me and you aren't, Mick. Remember that.
I'm isolating for the next week or so. So,
I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it. But no, again, listen, we appreciate everybody who joined us for tonight. I hope you are revelling in the fact that Liverpool have gone joint top of the league as we are, and we look forward to the game in the Champions League. The Champions League is back. Thank you very much. We will be back for Reds in Europe as our usual show next week. Apologies, obviously, we haven't done the worst Liverpool 11 in the Premier League era. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago, we did have our best Premier League 11. We're still working on them. Obviously, with the game being on tonight, we've sort of flipped the script a little bit and we've done the game instead. But we will be doing our Premier League Worst 11. Boys, how are you getting on with those Premier League Worst 11s? Are you struggling?
Struggling.
A little bit.
There's a lot of crap that's played in the Premier League.
Tomo's got his, but Tomo, you keep hold of yours there for a minute, mate. We will get it. But Tomo, listen, at the end of the day, mate, it's going to give you another chance just to look back at it. Yeah, at the end of the day. And blame fucking Sky Sports for changing the fixtures on us. That's what's fucked us over. But yeah, we will come back with that. We will let you know when we're going to be doing that. Again, it'll be at the weekend when we do it. But again, big thanks to Bernie Walker. Yeah, great 3 points to the second table. I had every faith in our Redmond. Yes, so did we. Young C, 1982. Well, after that result, yeah, we are as well, mate. Tomo, thank you very much. Gav, again, thanks for joining us tonight, pal. We really, really appreciate it. Alex came back as well. Thank you, Alex, for joining us again, mate. And for giving Matt some shit, which is what we love. Greg, as ever, he joins us for every fucking video. Greg, we love you, pal. Thank you very much for coming on. Enjoy your vodka and tonic. Keep thinking about his luscious locks, obviously. Who else have we had in as well? Oh, hey up. Dave's just dropped in now. Dave is right there. Dave, How you doing, pal? Good to see you. Tomo, I know we've had a week, mate. Fucking hell, Jesus, I know we've had a week, but we're struggling here. Listen, the amount of times I work with Tomo, he come out with all these bloody names. He knows what he's talking about. So we'll just... thing is now, we're putting pressure on Tomo to make sure that Tomo's is the best one. So he's got the fucking pressure now. But yeah, as always, boys and girls, thank you very much. Hit that like and subscribe button if you like the content, because the more you like it, the more we keep doing it and the more we fucking enjoy it. And I will get myself a beer. I'm talking too fucking much. We will see you all next week for Reds in Europe. See you next time.